In this video, we will show you how to create a schedule that allows your clients to select one of your services and then set an appointment. SuperSaaS offers 3 different types of schedules: a resource schedule for one-on-one appointments, a capacity schedule for group lessons or events, and third, a service schedule. This type of schedule can combine multiple resources, such as a room and a person or multiple people, with their own schedules and availability. In this example, we will configure a service schedule that combines multiple resource schedules. So we'll first create the resource schedules and then the service schedule. If you haven't done so yet, create a SuperSaaS account and log in to get started. Then, on your dashboard, click New Schedule. From the 3 schedule types, select Resource Schedule to create a schedule for your first staff member and continue to the next step. Select Login to make changes, so appointments can only be made by registered clients. Select 1, a single resource. This option is ideal when you want to create separate schedules for each staff member and set individual availability. Enter a name for your schedule. We use Schedule Kayla. Because clients will ultimately see the service schedule, with this schedule on the background, it doesn't really matter which name is used here. Now enter the days and time your first staff member is generally available. Like all settings, you can always change this later. Each staff member can also synchronize their schedule with their personal calendar to indicate their availability. Let's set appointments with a default length of 30 minutes. We won't give clients the option to change the length of appointments. We're also setting a constraint on the start times to every half hour by clicking that option. Click Finish to end the schedule wizard. Next, we're going to create the schedule for 2 more staff members by duplicating the first one. Go back to the dashboard and click New Schedule again. Now scroll down to Duplicate Schedule and make a copy of the schedule that you just created for Kayla. This will be the schedule for John. We'll repeat this for the 3rd staff member. Click New Schedule once more. And make a duplicate of Kayla's schedule for Mary. We're now ready to create the service schedule that combines the 3 schedules in one single view for clients. Click New Schedule one final time. Scroll down to select Service Schedule. You can use the same settings as before here. Enter a name for your schedule. You can change this later too. However, because this name will be part of the web address, it's important not to change it after you share the link with others. It's now time to define the services that your staff provides. In this example, we'll offer a men's haircut, a women's haircut, and a facial. You can add more services later. Since we have already created the individual resource schedules for each of our staff members, we use the drop-down selector next to each service to define which resources are required for the service to become available. To indicate that John or Kayla can perform the men's haircut, we select both of them and move the slider to OR. Now enter the days and time that the salon is opened. The availability of your staff members that you entered earlier will also be used to show the available openings. We're keeping the constraint on the start times to every half hour here. Click Finish to end the schedule wizard. Congratulations! You've just set up your advanced service schedule. Click Use to view the schedule you've created. You and your clients can now select one of the services on the right side, select a slot, and enter the requested details to make a booking. As you're currently logged in as an administrator, this is the scenario where you're making bookings for your clients. Select a different service to make another booking at the same time. Note that you could not plan another facial appointment there because Mary is the only person assigned to that service and she is unavailable. When we select men's haircut, we see the option to choose between Kayla and John, just like we set it up. Let's see what's happening behind the scenes by going to the dashboard and select the schedule from Mary. Mary now has the appointment in her schedule that we just planned as an administrator. Note that the appointment cannot be edited there. The appointment details will provide a link to the schedule where it can be edited. Click on Configure to adapt the schedule to your needs. On the Overview tab, you find a summary of your current settings, the ability to delete or block a schedule, and the link to your schedule for your clients. Click on Services. The Services tab lists the services available and how they relate to resources. You can click and drag the rows to change the order in which the services are listed. You can also change the color of a service by clicking the colored box in the top right corner of the window. In the field at the bottom of the editing window, you can enter a description of the service that will appear when the service is selected. If you don't want to give the option for clients to select the person that will be assigned to them, you can indicate that on this tab too. You can also indicate that you as an administrator still want to have this option. With this type of schedule, it's also possible to share a resource between people. For example, let's assume that Kayla and John share 2 different types of hairdryers between them. To accomplish this, we'll create another resource schedule. This time, we select the option to schedule more than one thing and list both hairdryers there. Make sure that the availability of these resources is at least that of the opening hours of the salon. Now let's navigate back to the dashboard and go to the Configuration and then the Services tab of the main schedule. We're going to indicate that a large dryer is needed for a women's haircut. It's also possible to indicate any of the hairdryers is needed for a service, and it doesn't matter which one. Let's see what this would look like for your clients. To see the schedule as your clients see it, log out and return to the schedule as a regular user. Clients only see the slots that are available, which is a combination of the availability of the various resources. When clients schedule an appointment, they don't have the option to choose the assigned staff member now, and they're not bothered by which hairdryer is used. Finally, to make things even more interesting, let's add prices and additional services to the schedule. On the dashboard, go to the configuration of the main schedule. Select the Services tab. Then enter a price for each of the services. To add additional services to the appointment with a price, such as conditioner or a pedicure, navigate to the Process tab. Here you'll find a list of the things to ask the client when making an appointment. You can also add a custom field here that lists the additional services. Click Customize. Mark this field as optional and give it the name Additional Services. Now select the option to show a drop-down selection menu. Enter an additional service to each line in the box, with the first line being None as the default. Add the price behind every service. This price can automatically be added to the total price when we configure this. To display the prices in the service selection box next to the schedule, select Show a Price column in Lists and save the changes. Now we're going to add the price of the additional services to the total price. To do this, scroll back down to the Price section and click Set Jump Pricing. On this page, you can configure advanced pricing rules. To add the price of the additional services, select Add Field to Price from the dropdown. We can already try out the pricing rules on this page by selecting an additional service. Notice that the total price changes. Let's also take a look at the final setup on the schedule itself. Now, when the client books an appointment, the total price is immediately displayed, including the additional services. If preferred, it's also possible to ask the client to complete the payment up front. You now have a basic understanding of how to create an advanced service schedule to allow clients to schedule the services of your business. Explore further customization options to make your schedule work exactly the way you want.